Well, hello, and thank you for joining us. My name's Chad Nix. I'm the marketing director here at Norvado, and we're happy to talk to you a little bit about streaming. You might be wondering, well, why is the local cable or television company talking to us about streaming? I think that's a pretty good question. Really, because it is a new technology that sometimes is better for our customers. And if streaming's better for our customers and you're buying a streaming service from another provider, that's okay with us. So we want to make sure you know what your options are and you know what streaming looks like. We don't actually sell a streaming television service. We sell a traditional cable TV type of service, but we do have some tools that help you determine which is better, whether you have a regular television service or whether you're streaming. And so that's what today's webinar or recorded webinar is about, is just talking to you a little bit about streaming and what it is, how it works, what you can expect, and why you should buy it type of stuff. What this is not is a highly technical webinar, and it's not a demo of a particular streaming platform. Rather, it's more of a 101 or the basics of streaming kind of service. So with that, let's get started. The webinar should only take a few minutes, I think 10 minutes maybe, but we're always happy to help you further. Should you need it, you can call or contact us through our website, and we'd gladly help support you with any streaming questions. So here's what we're actually going to talk about today. Why should you stream? How does streaming actually work? What do I need if I do want to stream? What are the benefits? What's the cost? Is it right for me? And then a little bit about some of our tools that we have that might help you determine whether you should stream or not, and what the costs are. We have a service that we call Norvado's concierge service. And it really is a channel picker where you're able to pick channels and then see what streaming packages are available with those channels that include those channels and what it costs. So we'll show you a little bit about that too, in case that would help you in your journey to determine whether or not streaming is right for you. So here we go. Why should you stream? Well, there's really a couple of main reasons, right? Probably the most prominent reason is saving money. There can be very big monthly savings when you stream television services, right? Rather than having a traditional subscription that might cost $50 or $100 or $150 a month, depending on the channels that are included. You can buy content in a much different way with streaming that can really vary from no money at all to more expensive packages like in the $65, $70 range. But generally, it comes with big savings. Even if you have to increase your internet speed to be able to stream, often what you can save in the packages still comes out as a positive for the customer. But there are other benefits. You can watch TV from anywhere on any device. So if you have a streaming package, you can watch it from your cell phone if you have an internet connection. You can watch it from your computer. You can watch it from your TV. You really can watch it anywhere from any device, and that's a benefit to some people, especially younger families that are on the move. But it can be for anybody. You might have two homes, a vacation home, and watching from another device is better than maybe having two different services. So that tends to be one. There aren't typically ads. There aren't typically contracts. And you can, with streaming, get live television. Of course, when you get live television and local television channels, those packages tend to be on the higher end of what streaming costs, but still might be a savings to you over a traditional service. So those are some of the key reasons. Maybe a couple other are unique content, right? You can only get certain content with certain providers. Folks like Netflix have been putting a lot of effort, energy, and money into producing their own content, and people are subscribing to Netflix to be able to view that content. So you can get some unique things that you can't get in traditional TV when you stream. And in addition to that, you have a lot more choices. You can pick the provider with the package that most aligns to you. Whereas when you're a cable service like Norvado, we have 3 packages that kind of appeal to maybe the masses, but that's it, right? It's 1, 2, or 3. Whereas in streaming, you can pick from hundreds of probably different packages or providers. So that's really why people stream, I think, is those things. Saving money is one of the biggest reasons, but there are the other reasons that I mentioned as well. So how does streaming work? It's pretty basic, really. I wanted to get to this. Sorry, I skipped the screen there, but I wanted to get to this. It's really fairly basic how streaming works. It works like your internet does today. So if you have an internet connection, that internet connection in your house connects to a cable or DSL modem, often then connects to a Wi-Fi broadband router, and then often connects to your laptop. Well, with streaming, you have all of those same things. And you can either connect directly from your Wi-Fi to your TV, or you could connect from your laptop to your TV, or you could connect with your phone to your Wi-Fi router, all of which would let you stream television with the provider that you have. In this case, it's showing Netflix, right? But you would have a Netflix subscription that's provided through the internet. You would log in. Obviously, the internet's getting to your devices through these channels, and then playing on your TV or your laptop or your phone. So one thing I did want to mention is that if your TV is not a smart TV, then you may have to connect through a laptop, or you can get a device that's built for streaming TV that can plug into your TV, and that streaming device can then manage the streaming of those television channels. So there's a couple of options. If you don't have a smart TV, you can still get it on, still be able to stream, whether it's through your computer or through one of the streaming devices. So the bottom line is that computers aren't necessary to streaming, but some people may choose to set it up that way, where they're connecting to their TV through the computer, and the computer is actually connecting to the streaming account. It just kind of depends on what's right for you and what devices you have. So I just went back a slide because I wanted to show you that diagram. But you know, if you have a basic question of what is streaming television, it really is just the digital distribution of television content. Things like TV shows or movies or any video that you would stream over the internet. And it really, in many cases, works and feels and looks just like a traditional cable TV service. In some cases, it can be a little bit different than that, but the basic bottom line is when you're streaming television, you're just getting those television channels, that television content to you in a different way. Instead of over the cable TV network, you're getting it over the internet. So what do I need to start streaming? Well, really three things, right? You have to have an internet connection because streaming happens over the internet. And you have to have a pretty good internet connection if you want to have a similar experience to what you have on TV, on a traditional TV service or cable service provider. Generally, there isn't a lot of buffering. There isn't a lot of disconnection with a traditional TV service. And there can be with streaming if you don't have a good internet connection. So it's really important that you do have a good connection, and you must have internet to be able to stream. And we have a little tool that I'll show you at the end of this that you can use to determine how much internet speed I should have. That's based off of if you're streaming and how many people are in your household and how many devices are connecting to your internet connection. But generally, we recommend a minimum of 10 meg per person or per device. So if you had a combination of 10 total people and devices connected to the internet, we would recommend a minimum of 100 meg. But for the best experience, we recommend 25 meg per person per device. Might be a little bit of an overkill. It is what we recommend. But it ensures that there's enough bandwidth there to manage everything that's happening in the household while maybe more than one TV is streaming over the internet. So, so think about that when you're thinking about streaming, is what kind of connection do I have? What kind of connection might become available or is available to me to purchase if I went this direction. You also need to have a streaming device. And that's what I was talking about on the previous screen. A streaming device could just be your TV. So if you have a smart TV, many of them have the streaming capabilities built in. And you can look in your menus app to see which ones are there, or you can download others. But a smart television generally acts like a streaming device. Your computer or a computer connected to a traditional TV can act as a streaming device. And probably what's most common, maybe today smart TVs are most common, but either first or second to that would be a dedicated streaming device like a Roku or Fire TV or Apple TV. There are others. We provide and sell Roku and Fire TV. but certainly know that Apple TV is very popular too, and there are others in the market. Those are just the little streaming devices. Sometimes they're like a box, and sometimes they're just like a little card that you plug into your TV that manages that streaming content for you. And then you need television content. So you have to be able to have a subscription to something. Now, some subscriptions are free, and some of the streaming devices have their own channels, like Roku has their own channels. So you can watch some programming just by having a Roku streaming device. But generally, you're going to need to subscribe to something like Netflix or YouTube or YouTube with live TV, because you have to have something to watch, right? So if you think about it in these three ways, I need to have an internet connection, I need to have a streaming device to be able to stream the content, and I need to have some kind of content subscription to be able to watch what I want to watch. And what that is depends on what you want to watch, of course, and how much you watch TV and what's important to you. So we'll talk a little bit about the types of services that are available in a minute, but in order to stream, you need these three things. So what's the benefit of streaming? Well, I touched on some of it earlier. Again, I think these are the three most important benefits, right? Is that you can watch television from any device, anywhere. So if you took a vacation from Wisconsin to Florida, you could be watching TV from your cellular phone throughout the trip. And in many cases, you can mirror from your phone to a television, right? So you're never very far away from your television content. Another benefit is that the content that you can subscribe to in a subscription-based streaming service generally more closely aligns to what you want, right? Whereas our television service or the local cable company's television services are geared toward a lot of channels for the masses, right? Whereas in streaming, you can pick exactly what you want. And then, of course, lower monthly expenses. Even if you're increasing your internet speeds, a lot of times a jump in internet speed might be $20, but the savings that you could have from a traditional TV model to streaming might be $100 a month. Just depends on what you want. It might be less than that too. It of course depends on what you have today and what you're going to as it relates to streaming. So what's the cost? Well, of course, it depends on you and what content you want. But this maybe will give you a little bit of an idea of what streaming costs. There are free platforms like Roku channels and Tubi and Peacock. Tubi and Peacock are similar to probably like Netflix. They probably don't have as much content or as much premium content, but they do have television content that might be perfect for you, and those are free. So you could stream television for free if those those providers provided what you were looking for. A lot of people end up wanting their local television service, right? So you can get a streaming package with live local TV and live sports. I personally have YouTube with live TV, and I get all my local channels and I get all the ESPNs and all that kind of stuff. Those types of packages range from $20 to $65 per month. And with many TV providers, that $60, $70, $80 is where that beginning package starts. So when you get live television, often you can expect that you're going to have a little bit more of a premium to pay on a monthly basis. But it is available, and in some cases, it might be a lot less expensive for you. And then you can buy individual channels or individual channel bundles. And almost every channel today has them. Probably not everyone, but a lot of them do. You can get Disney Plus, and you can get Fox Nation and Discovery Channel and all kinds of different individual channel streaming packages. And so some people might have multiple things. They may have the Netflix, the YouTube with live TV, and a Disney Plus, because that's the content bundle that works for them. But it really depends on you. But you can buy individual channels anywhere from like $4.95 to $9.99, just depending on what it is that you want and what that channel cost is. And then there's premium content, of course, the HBOs and the Netflix and those types of packages that don't include live TV but have premium content, movies and exclusive television content like Netflix has. Those probably start at about $9.95, $9.99 a month, but they can be more expensive. I think Hulu's basic package is around $12.95. So again, it just kind of depends on what you want. But at the end of the day, if you think about it like this, I can stream anywhere from no cost at all up to like $65 a month. But sometimes people have more than one package. So I might have a $65 a month package plus some individual channels that I want. It really depends on the unique person and what content their household desires. So is streaming right for me or for you? I think it really depends on your experience, right? And what you expect from a television service. I would say this, if you want to save money, if you want to watch TV anywhere on any device, if you have access to high-speed internet, and if you're not uncomfortable with multiple content providers, then streaming probably is for you. If you do have a hard time switching providers, like switching from YouTube TV to Netflix or from Netflix to Hulu, if you have those 3 subscriptions, if that would be a challenge for you, then it may be better to stay with the traditional TV model. But if it's not, and it is pretty easy, really, then streaming might be good for you, right? So I would think if you keep these 4 things in mind and assess your situation against those, you'll have a pretty good idea of whether or not streaming is a good thing for you or not. And then the last thing that I wanted to talk about today is something we call the Norvado concierge service. And this is really just tools on our website that we have to help you understand what channels are in what packages and how much they cost. In many cases, sometimes it's not published, but in many cases, how much they cost. And you can access this at norvado.com/streamtv, just like it says right here on the site. norvado.com/streamtv, or if you just go to our Norvado site and go to residential television, there's a link to the streaming concierge service on there. And I'm just going to take a second to show it to you. I'm not going to walk you through a whole demo or anything like that, but I am going to just at least expose you to it. So I've gone to our website here, and you can see I'm at norvado.com/streamtv. And there's a couple of tools on here that I think you might benefit from. One is this first tool right here, where I can put in how many people are in my household, how many televisions I have, how many gaming consoles, and how many smart home devices, and hit next. And it'll tell you a range of internet speed that you should have to run that. And that range is based on that minimum of 10 meg per up to 25 meg per person and connected device. But this, if you just put the numbers in and hit next, it'll give you that range. And then probably the main tool here is the channel picker, as we call it. And so you can put your address in. I've just put our local office address in. Oops. Let me go back. I just put our local office address in and hit search, and it should tell me what my streaming options are in that area. It does take a second to load up. As you can see, it's loading the results. And what you'll find once that's done is that I over here can pick the things that are important to me, right? So if my local channels are important to me, well, I'm going to pick which ones, and then it's going to tell me what packages are available in my area that would include that local channel. So you can see once you want local channels, your options become a little bit limited. Hulu with live TV, you could get it for $64.99, or YouTube TV, you could get it for $64.99, or you could buy a Norvado TV package, depending on which one you want, for $58 on up. So again, sometimes when you get to those local channels, the local TV provider might be as good, but might not be too. Although if you just are looking for, movies and sports, you may find a whole lot of other options available to you depending on what you pick. So this is a good tool to kind of play with, to pick and choose the channels that you might want, and see what packages are available to you. And again, that can be found at norvado.com/streamtv, or you can just go to norvado.com, go to our residential television page, and then click on the streaming link, and it'll get you there. So that's streaming 101 for you. Maybe in the future we'll do some other things like demoing some particular platforms, but for today we wanted to make sure you understood some of the basics of streaming and what you might look for in determining whether or not it's right for you. Of course, we're here to help. So if you want to reach out to us through our website, we have a chat service on there, and we have contact us services that are pretty easy to find. Or you can call one of our customer service representatives anytime from 8 to 4:30 Monday through Friday. And we'd be happy to help walk you through any of this or any streaming questions that you might have, or questions about your products and services that you're buying from Norvado today. So thank you very much for attending. We appreciate it. And hopefully this was somewhat helpful for you in the first step of trying to determine whether streaming is right or not. Have a great day. Take care.